Hey everybody, Patrick here. In this quick video from Fasco Health, we're going to talk about what are cravings and what is the physiological addiction to nicotine. So there's a couple things that you need to understand. While we're in this process of assessing why we smoke and how we smoke, it's time to understand a little bit more about what's going on in the body. So physiologically speaking, there's something you really need to understand. A craving, that feeling in your body that says, I need a cigarette right now, that little voice in the back of your head that says, you should go have a smoke right now, that craving typically only lasts 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes. Now, when we understand that that craving is not going to last you all day, it's only a brief, finite period of time, it makes it a little easier to understand that we can just put this off. We can, in the last video, we talked about the 4 things you can do: deep breathe, drink water, distract yourself, do something else while that craving is going on for 3 to 5 minutes. That's the first piece I need you to understand. It will come back once in a while during the day, but as you practice, the space between those cravings is going to get further and further apart. So that's really important to know. The more you practice, the more you don't give in, the further those spaces are going to get apart. And the reason that's important is because physiologically, your body is only addicted to nicotine for about 72 hours. That's 3 days. If we want to extend it out even further, we can say 4 days. Your body is physiologically only addicted to nicotine for 4 days. So if you go without nicotine for 4 days, your body's physiological response, the actual addiction, is no longer there. We talk about quitting smoking as being 10% addiction and 90% habit. That 10% addiction is because 4 days after you've stopped having any nicotine, your body's not addicted to it anymore. But the habit side of it is that your thoughts can still be addicted. Your memory is still in that place of of those feelings, like when I'm happy, I have a cigarette. When I'm sad, I have a cigarette. When I get frustrated or angry, I have a cigarette. That's not physiological addiction, that's habit. That's things we just do over and over. I watched a gentleman, interestingly enough, we were driving and he was getting out of his Cataliner, a big truck on the side of the road, and he opened the door and swung out of the vehicle, and before his feet even touched the ground, he'd popped his cigarettes out of his pocket, popped one out, put it in his mouth, and lit it all in one motion. It was like a gunslinger, just and he had it going. That's habit, that's muscle memory. His body wasn't saying, you need to have the cigarette right now, but he just knew every time he got out of the vehicle, boom, 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 and he lit a cigarette. That's what he did. We have to battle that, and we have to get rid of that habit. So we start doing things like moving our cigarettes away, we leave them somewhere else, we make it more difficult, so we have to think about it while we're having a cigarette. So the 2 things I want you to remember from this video: a craving only lasts 3 to 5 minutes. You can get through that. And physical addiction to nicotine only lasts 72 hours, maximum 4 days. And you can get through that because you deserve it. You are worth it. You are strong enough. And I know that you can do it. I'm so proud of you for even watching these videos and starting to step yourself into that mindset of you can be free of this. Imagine what that's going to feel like, because you deserve it.